Yo, 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 what is up, guys? Okay, so I'm walking on a treadmill right now, but I'm gonna talk to you guys about, career growth, what I've been doing so far this past week. So I was in Orlando this past week, which was pretty nice. Night shift, so I was a little bit tired, but now we recovered. I was a little bit sick on Sunday, which is fine. I'm fine now, so that's okay. But yeah, gonna talk about some updates in terms of the sales career. Um, I've been applying like this past like 7 days on sales development representative roles, cold calling roles, and also internally within my company too. So my company is I talked to the recruiters, so they are gonna be doing a next class. So I applied a little bit too late, which I got and the recruiter said apply when the job posting is, and then she'll notify me. The next sales class, the next sales round will be, and the requisites will be on September. So I'll be looking out for that. However, I'm not just going to be waiting for that too. So I applied externally to other roles as well. For example, I applied to SDR, sales development representative positions at Tech Sales. What basically Tech Sales is basically you sell software or AI products remotely. You get a base salary plus an OTE, a commission base, which is actually pretty nice. And then the OTEs are probably uncapped depending on like performance, company structure, and all that. Typically SDRs make around like 90 to 120K depending on the company, which is actually pretty nice in the tech space. So that's pretty cool there. So I got 2 interviews, just by applying to like less than what am I at? I could look it up right now. So I applied, let's see here. So let's see, tracker. So yeah, I applied to 19 roles and already got like 2 interviews, right? This week, I have it this week. So I have one Thursday and I have one Friday. And to remind you guys too, I have one that's like, not an interview, but like, it's a sales, kind of class, and then the leaders were interested in talking about me, but that's all the way in September. I'm not going to be waiting for that. Let's not wait for opportunities now. So yeah, we got 2 in Thursday and Friday. So gonna be studying up on the companies. I applied for the companies, but I took a brief look, but I'm gonna go on a deep research on what the companies do. Both of them are in the AI kind of tech space, so I'm looking forward for that conversation in terms of what their expectations are, what their salary bandwidth is, what their compensation structure is, how they pay out. Do they pay out monthly, quarterly? Ideally, I would want it to be monthly. That way you're more incentivized, but we could always negotiate on that part. And these 2 companies seem to have pretty good salary bandwidths as well. So, and they focus on outbound cold calling, which I am going to be focusing on in terms of getting the reps in and getting the skill sets. And to be fair, like I'm not worried about like the salary, right? I know that as an engineer, engineer myself, like I make good money for my age. And I live below my means, so I'm not really too worried on if I get a slight pay cut in base, but I'll make up for it in performance and bonuses monthly or quarterly, because that's how it's typically structured within tech sales. You either get a commission check every month or quarterly, which is pretty fat depending on your performance. But that's what I'm looking for, right? I'm looking for a performance-based role, fast-paced, high-paced like sales role, so that I could learn the skill set quickly at a high volume, and eventually get promoted, hopefully. Additionally too, that's the kind of skill sets I want to learn, so I could supplement that onto my business, right? So that's the kind of update that I had for you guys right now. Really just been applying, and then I got 2 interviews, which is pretty nice this week. So update you guys on how that went and see if we move on to the processes and stuff like that. Typically it's like an introductory type of like either a phone call or a Zoom call with the recruiter, and then after that like a technical kind of round with the hiring manager, and then like final offer or something like that. So it's like a 2 to 3 typical, type of round interview. So yeah, looking forward to that. Looking forward to see what that is, and it's gonna be kind of not scary, but it's gonna be the first time if I get an offer and I like it, uh, to tell my boss that, hey, I got an offer at another company. I'm gonna be not working for this because this was my first job out of college. This high-paying full-time engineering role, right? First role out of college, and it's gonna be really interesting for sure. Transitioning over from engineering to sales, but I see this being my main long-term career and the skill set that I'll be developing so that I could build a better future not only for myself but my family as well. Okay. But yeah, other than that, in terms of gym, still getting shredded. Getting a DEXA scan on Saturday to see my body fat percentage, so I can't wait for that. I think the main thing now, if I'm depending on what the body scan DEXA scan says, hopefully I'm 15 to 14% body fat. We'll see how that is. If so, then I'm gonna be doing like a reverse diet. So I'm actually gonna be increasing my calories, hoping to stay at that 14 to 15% body fat for just 60 days, 90 days. I'll stick to that. And then after that, I'll go on a deeper cut once I build some more, lean mass and stuff like that. So I'll be regularly getting into that kind of reverse diet phase, increase my calories. Because right now, I actually increased it. So I went from 1,500 to now 1,650. And then once the DEXA scan is over, I look at the results, see how much, fat I lost. And then I'll increase my calories more on the protein side and just focus on building that muscle, so that I could get more lean and look more shredded when I do get that second cut. So we'll see how it goes. Fitness has been doing well. Content has been doing well as well, averaging 460,000 views per month. Still doing pretty good there, staying consistent and learning a lot. I think the main thing now is just me holding myself accountable and tracking. So I'll get to work on that, guys. In terms of sales, been tracking that too. Still at zero. We haven't really booked any sales calls, but I've just been more or less just focused on my sales career and trying to focus on that sales transition, right? I think the main thing with content is that you need to actually do shit. So that's what I'm doing. Just doing the shit and then presenting that to and presenting that language and transitioning that language over to that content side as well. So yeah, see you guys in a bit. I'll update you guys and take care.